everybody, hope you're well. Welcome to another exciting episode of How to Ruin Your Own House. Right then, again, apologies for last episode. I realise it was a bit of a talk fest, but what can I say? I'm a silly boy, I do silly things, I lose phones. So there we go. But I'm determined to hold on to this one, and all the footage I'm going to take, it's all going to be there, so don't worry. Right then, so less talking, more doing, quick overview of the plan, and then we're going to crack straight on with it. So, first and foremost, I am going to get rid of that chimney breast because the bricks from outside have half gone. I think they took 500, so there's enough room for them to go. They've also said that all the black sooty ones they don't want, so a lot of them are probably going to go and skip anyway. So that can go now. Also, we have a very special guest today. Say hello, special guest.
Hello.
Hello, there he is. We had a bit of a delay on the other job. The windows haven't arrived, so we can't really do anything to that room sealed now. So what we're going to do is, Richard's going to give us a hand here. He's going to be taking down this ceiling space here. So then our joists that we talked about at length, I know, they're going to go across there. I've all got space to go over there. Blah, de blah, de blah. Right, let's smash things up. Right, just interrupt that broadcast, just for those of you who may be interested, just to show you the construction of this chimney, traditionally brick-built chimney, just to show you how they always kick out to the side and have a bit of a sloping bit to either the left or the right. That's just so, when the chimney pot's on the top, the breeze or the wind blows over the chimney pots, and that shape there just helps all the smoke gets drawn up the chimney and up. If it was just flat, if it was straight, just like that, it wouldn't be as efficient if it would work at all. So that there would go straight down, I'm presuming, in this instance, straight down at an angle to where the actual fireplace would have been. Everything to the right of that you can see is completely cosmetic. That's just to bulk out the actual structure to make it equal to the room. That actually isn't doing anything in terms of the chimney, but you can see where the smoke's all been, can't you? So from that point onwards, that's just basically a giant chimney stack all the way up, and that would have gone through the roof, which is why that one was so easy to take down. But here, we're into the proper construction of it. So we're, it's a bit more thought out, so to speak. What's good for us here is that because this side is cosmetic, there's no soot on the bricks, so all those are keepables, and all these 30p's, as we're now calling them, to go outside and be sold. But all those ones, the black ones here, have obviously got to go. You may have found it interesting, you might not. Did you find it interesting, Rich?
I love everything you say, Adam.
There you go. Excellent. Everything. Wow. I married the wrong one. Right then, that's that out. Everything's cleaned up. I'll tell you around in a second and show you. Look at that, look, eh? The old damage. Trying to get a bit too close to make sure you get a good shot for YouTube. Silly, silly boy. I've been going around, headphones in, thoughts to myself, usually a dangerous thing. winds up in having a great idea about going out and then leads to lost phones. But we're not going to go into that. I'm over it. I did think of a plan moving forward at what we're going to do now, because we've got a couple of days between the joists being delivered. We'll go into that in a second. But I just wanted to show you this little free gift we've just been sent. What do you reckon? Look at this. Good, isn't it? It's very good. A fellow called Mike got in contact, complete off his own back, and said, we like your channel. Do you want to use this? Made it himself, so sent it to us. So here it is. I think it's ace, which leads me to think that there might be others like that, or like you out there, that want to do stuff like that and promote yourself on this channel. You're more than welcome to. Just send it, just email it through. Our email's in our bio. And then we'll put it on screen, and then we'll do what we're going to do with Mike and put his details on screen now. And his details are also in the description. And if you like it, you can get in contact with him, and it might get him a bit of business, you know, who knows, why not? Something good might come of it. That's ace, isn't it? Nothing to do with us, no affiliation, no money's changed hands at all, didn't ask for it, just a nice little gift. We'll use it, and we'll repay the favour by putting his details up, and we'll do the same for you if you like to. And with music, we're constantly getting copyright for music, so if you create music and you've got any uncopyrighted stuff, send it in. We'll credit you every time the music comes on the screen. We'll put your band name up, who's it by, whatever. Put all your details in the description, gig dates, website links, whatever. Just if you want to get in contact and do that sort of stuff, promote yourself, we're more than happy to help. If you don't want to, it's fine. Doesn't matter. We just want it to be an interactive thing between us and you. We don't want it just a one way. Oh, look what we do, and then just disappear into the night. It'd be nice if we get a bit of a conversation going. Right then, enough of that, and let's move on, which might involve more talking, but just bear with me. I'll keep it short. Well, let's just show you the floor, all dug out, all levelled round, both rooms. That's just down as far as it needs to be. And let's have a look at that chimney breast that ain't there anymore. Beautiful. Oh, we're happy at that. Excellent. Right then, what's the plan? So what do we do now? Well, I've got about 3 working days, if all goes well, for the joists to arrive. They're ordered, they're paid for, they're in production, so I've been told, and I've been given a date of when they're coming. That's about in 3 working days' time. So, what am I going to do from now till then? Well, I've been given a bit of a lifeline that next door, obviously that way, because that way is just the rest of the world, I've gone out all day. They've gone out early, and they're not back till late. And they've said, if there's anything you need to do that's really, really noisy, that today is a perfect day to do it. Well, okay then. In that case, what I'm going to do is take off all the plaster from the party wall, all the way down there. I'm going to presume, a word you shouldn't really use in this game, but I'm going to presume that is going to be an easy task, because it's the original plaster. But I've got my little handheld, little battery DeWalt breaker with a little spade bit on it. Should come off quite easily, so I'm not envisioning that taking much too long. Then what we can do is use this little bad boy, which isn't little, 350 blade, love it. And I'm going to break through into what will be the kitchen that way. I'm doing that for 2 reasons. Number 1, I get to use a steel saw indoors, very noisy, petrol fumes. They will go through next door, means a terraced house. They will be able to smell it and whatnot, but by the time they come back, all that will be dissipated. So I'm going to use this window of opportunity to sort that out. Cut that out. That's a job that needs doing. That's out the way. Then what it also means is that when the joists arrive, I have got a clear path through that wall there. Behind it is a bifolds and then into the back garden. I can easily get the joist delivered on the side of the house, take them into the back garden because there's no fence there, and bring them straight through here. A lot easier than the original plan, which was up the stairs, all the way up behind me, and then back down over that live gas main, which I'm hoping is going to get cut off soon. So I'm going to get on with that. I'm going to do the cuts behind me. I'm not going to break through today. I'm just doing the cuts with a steel saw. So I've got to work out where I exactly want this opening. It's just a doorway it's going to be. No door, just an opening, walking from the dining room into what will be the kitchen. Work out where I want it, cut it, do another, some more cuts here for another doorway it's going to go in, which I'll explain in a far distant episode, because that's a different sort of element to the job. And yeah, and then we'll get some time lapse up of getting off this this plaster, which is going to be really easy. I know it is. No hiccups whatsoever. Right, so the first thing I've got to work out is where I want these cuts to be. Where do I actually want this walk through? So what I've done, I've gone next door and I've randomly just drilled through just to see where that brings us. From that point now, I can do some measuring and work out where we are. So I'm going to take you directly behind this wall, so to speak. Steady on, ladies. And I will show you a part of the job that you haven't seen yet. Right, this is the extension to the rear of the property. These windows here that you can see will all be explained in future episodes. I'm not going into too much detail now. So this is directly behind that wall I just showed you. That's my drill, still hanging in the wall, and that's where that drill bit comes through. And what we want is that knocking through, so you walk straight through into where I am now, which will be the kitchen. These are the bifolds that we're talking about. And I can just get the delivery person to come and drop the stuff off there, in which case just jump up here, straight through these bifolds and straight through there, which I think it's going to work out beautifully. So, apart from moving all this out of the way, that's going to be a future tabletop. Oh, well, yeah, we're happy. I'm going to work out where I want these this door to be, and to do that, we're going to go back around the other side. Okay, so we're back next door. There's a drill bit, and that is what obviously was the corner of the house going up there. So I need a lintel to go across up there somewhere, and where do I want that to be? Well, I reckon I am going to leave the existing corner of the house be. I'm not going to break into that, because directly off this wall is our firm light wall, directly going that way to form our new extension. I don't want to mess around with that. I think that's best left in situ, strength and all that sort of thing. So we need our bearing to start from there. So here we have, if I can get my tape out, to that drill bit we have 245 millimeters, and I need a 150 mil bearing. So I think I'm going to come just 150 mil from there, I think, and then do our first line. So what I might do then is get that, go 150 mil in, and then drill from this side into the extension that way to see where we are there. From that point on then, I can draw a line and cut that both sides. From that point then, I can work out how wide I actually want it. I think a metre is ample. Again, there's no doorway going to be on it, it's just going to be plastered. And I think a metre wide doorway, entranceway, whatever you want to call it, walkway, will be ample, I think. So then it's probably going to be, wherever that is then, 150 mil, a metre from there, and then cut down there, I think, but we shall see. So first things first, drill through that way and mark some lines. So 150 mil in from next door brings us there. So we've got a nib there, lining it through of maybe about 18 mil. So it's all down to Essex now. What do I want this to be? Finished article. I don't want it flush going around the corner. I think just a doorway into that might look a bit weird. What do you reckon? So maybe a little nib would look better where it is. I can still get the steel saw in there, so that's not an issue. I can run that up that close. I can't really get any closer than that with a steel saw, thinking about it. So that might be that. Plus, if I've got a little bit of a nib there, that gives us somewhere to put any pipes that might need to go up. I think I can box that in quite easily there. I can't do it behind me for reasons. No, I ain't going to show you. It's all future stuff, this side of things. So I might leave it at that. In fact, yes, okay, I'm thinking out loud now, but I am going to leave it at that. Give ourselves, I might come 1100 off that. So that gives us space then just to close it in. We can, if need be, if you think that's too wide, we can stud it out really easily. Recutting it to make it wider, what a ball like that is. So we're going to avoid that. So yes, I'm going to cut there, and then I'm going to measure 1100 and cut there. Yes, okay, that's what we're going to do. Right then, here we go. Right. Went a bit overzealous, I realised we'd taken the plaster off because those bricks are coming out anyway. But I just wanted to see how difficult it was, because whatever was there, whatever that is, been made up with something over the years, is on this wall. I just want to see how difficult it was to get off, because that seems fairly solid, and that thing on hammer doesn't really pack too much of a punch. I don't like using my drill as a breaker, because it can't do the chuck any good. It can't do. But the reason why I bought this bit, little spade bit on a bit of an angle, just to get it off, is because most of the house, which I gave this bit a go, just flies off. So it's putting little to no pressure on that chuck at all, so it should be all right. So yeah, but this stuff is a lot harder. It's all right, it's not too bad, I'll persevere. It's only where they've made up things over the years where new stuff's gone in. That door's not original, because you can see here, see the thermalite blocks there? That's where the doorway would have been into this room. And as you can see, it's the same colour browning, whatever it is they've used for it. Could even be board adhesive, I'm not too sure. So it's around there and it's around there. Everything else in the middle, as you can see, is old stuff. So we're good, I'll use that then. What little harebrained idea I've just had. Put it in the comments whether you think this is worth it or not. But I drew a pencil line there, look. Now, as soon as I use the steel saw, petrol saw, whatever you want to call it, on here, I won't be able to see that line. The dust will cover it, and the water that goes through it will just blow it all away, wash it all off, and I won't be able to see it. I could use permanent marker, run it down with a Sharpie, but I'm only going to get one go at that, and even then, by halfway, that's a Sharpie knackered. That goes in that big, over-expensive yellow thing out there. So I've drilled a series of holes so then I can just join the dots as I'm going up. As a visual thing, I don't know, what you reckon? Is that a good idea? I don't know. Waste of time? I'm not too sure. I could score it with my 4-inch grinder, but that's just more dust. I can't put water through that, so that's more dust, isn't it? So, don't know, what you reckon? We'll see if it works. Yeah, and I've done the same. Oh, you can't really see here, but there is the same there. I can assure you. Right then, I'll cut that now as high as I can go off this floor. Then I'll set trestles up and do the top bit, because I am not, and nor should you, use a petrol saw on ladders. No, sir. So, trestles up. So, right then, sort my hose out and get to work. Right then, what have we learnt so far? Well, we've learnt I can't cut vertical lines with that thing. The whole thing didn't quite work, or maybe I need more of them a bit closer together. As soon as you turn that water on, it just blasts it out, and it's really difficult to see any kind of line that I could draw on or follow or anything, so it's a bit wavy, but it's all right, it will do its job. Now on the other side, where it's been painted, I've got a nice clean surface to actually write something on that I will be able to see going down. But now that I've drilled the holes through, they're there anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, moving on. As you can see, I've punched 3 holes through, one either side of the lintel and one in the middle. I didn't film it. I'm reluctant to go into too much detail here, because I don't want to turn this into a how to knock walls down in your house, load-bearing walls, I mean, how to use acros and all that sort of thing, because it can be a complex subject and a very dangerous one. I don't want any over-enthusiastic DIYers to follow my every word and do himself, some harm, because you might look at this is just a doorway going through. I mean, it's really simple. but you might then escalate this up to a big steel you're putting into your house, and I'd rather you didn't really. I'd rather you get some professionals in. So all I've done then is punch 3 holes in. I'm going to put some strung buoys in now, prop them up. I'll just show you you're done. Again, not a how-to, all right. And then I will cut the other side. In fact, no, I'm going to cut the other side, then do that. But you'll see what I mean when it's finished. Well, believe it or not, the acros and strung buoys are in behind there. I can't show you, it's too dark, there's no lights behind there, so there's no point showing you. Because since we last talked, I had a couple of phone calls, I had to reply to a couple of emails. Before you know it, it's got dark. So, but you'll see those acros emerge from that getting dropped tomorrow. So don't worry about it. So what I'm going to do now is see out the day, concentrating on what I thought I was going to start the day doing, get some of this plasterboard off. I've got to move these timbers to do it, but because of this, look. Quality workmanship, they've just dabbed it straight onto the old original loose plaster. So that's not going to put much of a fight. Get rid of that first, get that in the back of the van, because there's no room in the skip, and then move on to this side down here. Right. Ooh, do you know what? I'm calling it. End of the day, I think. Well, I don't know if you can remember in the first episode, we were hoping that there might be some nice bricks behind this bit of plasterboard that we can, salvage and keep and I'd leave exposed. I mean, they're not great, are they? Anyway, but even so, it didn't occur to me that there's a doorway there, even though we talked about it earlier. I completely forgot about it. Did you finish your joints, eh? Good Lord. Oh, man. Anyway, did its job, I suppose. I'll tell you what else is doing its job as well. This plasterboard adhesive. I mean, it's only as good as what you stick it to. So, on the old plaster, it just fell off. But this stuff will foam like walls. Oh my God. That's going to need machinery to get that off. And it is. It's just too late for that now. Even if the neighbours are away. Whew. Right then, save wasting any time tomorrow. I'll tell you what the plan is now. That's ready to be dropped. We'll get all that gone. Much plaster off as I can, whilst I can, on that party wall. And then it's operation, get ready for joists. All these can come out along there, clean all them up, make sure I've got a clean path from that wall, all the way to this wall. And talking to this wall, we've got to get a wall plate bedded on to there in order for our joist to sit on. So, it's all to do, it's all go. Right then, let's cut to tomorrow. Oh, can you see me? Where are we? Well, I'll have to do. Let's cut to tomorrow and get it going. And there we have it, we have a knock through. Beautiful. That is now the full length of the house, as you can see, all the way down. That's going to be the kitchen window. Well, it is the kitchen window. You can't see it, there's another one just this side of it. So that's where the sink's going to be. And then you'll be able to look the entire length of the house, up, through, and out over to the woods. That's the whole point. That's what I really wanted, to have that doorway in line with that window in line with where the doors go here, in line with the window behind us. So from some vantage point, you better see all the way through. So there we go. So I've got a couple of steels in the garden lined up to using now. I took them out of a job a few years ago now. So they've got a bit of rust on them. So I've just bought off Amazon. They've just been delivered. A couple of these bad boys. It's fitting into the drill and get the surface dust off it. Bit of rust shield sprayed on. And then we'll go for it. Then I'll install them, cut the size, install them. Then it's off to the next job. There's that for before and after on these steels. It's alright, isn't it? Not bad at all. Give this one on the right a go now. That's alright, that is. Got a set of them, as I say, from Amazon. They're about £9 or something. And then, look for the coater. One coat of this stuff. Excellent. The effort's there, isn't it? If I'm totally honest, I haven't got a single issue structurally with using it the way these are anyway. But with you a lot in your comments, we love them really. Any inspector and whatnot, we like to just, you know, make the effort. Yeah, but there you go. That's all right. So it took about 20 minutes as well. Give this one a blast off now and we'll get him up there. Okay, we're getting there. A little list of jobs that we've got to get done. So we're 100% ready for these joists. Are slowly being ticked off. I'll turn you around now and I'll show you the plan and we'll get them boxed off. Right then, that's all gone off. All the compo and all the slate that I've packed under those bricks or over the steel, whichever way you want to look at it. So I can take those acro props out now and then pack and fill the holes that the acro props have made, because obviously you can't pack those whilst they're in. I've cut that hole out there, a little pocket there. I'll show you that in a second. And we've also got this wall plate to put on. But to do that, what I'm going to do is cut down, basically reusing this piece of timber here, which is beautiful and dead straight and ace, that was in the floor along here somewhere, if you remember. If not, check out the other episodes. This is one of the thumbnails that you're looking for. In order to do that, there'll be a link in the description as well. So I'm going to cut that down and then I'll bed that on, which means I'll have compo to do back over there. I'll quickly show you this hole here, which I've done, which is clearly too small for our timber. Our timber that's going to get bolted onto here, onto this one, is 219mm. And as you can see, that's 176-ish, 177, something like that. But as you can also see, to cut that brick out in order to get this timber in, I'll have to undermine that there. Yes, it's ever so slightly on that course of bricks there as well, but I'm going to notch that out, I think. Obviously, when notching timber out, you've got to be careful, because if it's a 9x2, you take an inch off, it then becomes an 8x2, depending on the construction of what you're using it for. But because this has been bolted to this, I'm pretty sure that makes that little rule irrelevant, but I will double check with the Oracle. And then that is basically it. And as you can see, this timber is fairly tight on this course of bricks there until you get to the end, which you can't see. Oh, you can. There's a bit of a gap there. I've got some slate, which I got out the floor here, and I'll pack that in, make sure that's all nice and tight. And then really, that's it. Right then, let's get these little jobs squared away, and then we'll move on. Beautiful. All that's done now. I just dug them in. They're not tied in or anything like that. They will be from that point on, all the way up. But that's just because when that joist goes in, as you can see, it's bang in line. So I won't be able to get anything down there once it's in. So just get it in just to make up the hole. And that's all right, isn't it? Those steels have gone up all right, haven't they? Bit of TLC. I'm glad I've done that. Excellent. Right then, moving on to cutting up this piece of timber in order to use it as a wall plate for up there. I'm going to keep it 115mm, because they're big old bricks, these are, big wide things. I'll just put a chalk line down it. And I've measured what we need. All I'm going to do now is cut it all down, and then we'll get it up there, and we'll see where we are in terms of the laser level. And don't forget, I said on the last episode, I need a 6mm packer on the bottom of our joists there. So wherever that lintel is, 6mm up from that, set the laser level across, and we'll see where we are. I think we're going to need a very, very thin bed just to bring it up ever so slightly. But we shall see, we shall see. Well, there's nothing like a straight cut. And that is nothing like a straight cut. But anyway, it'll do for what we need to do. I will put it up there now and we'll have a look. Right. Let's have a look, shall we? I make that about 6mm above that lintel. Let's see where we are. Oh, you are joking. Oh, look at that. Get me that out of the way. Crikey, that is spot on. Still got to be, if I put it on dry, it's going to get taken down a few mil. I don't know, that's a chunky piece of timber. Dips down ever so slightly there. I don't think I'll get that out with a compact. Look at that! Oh my lord! Beautiful. That is pure luck. Pure luck. Right then. Shall we leave it at that? I'm going to leave it at that. Let's not be an idiot about it, eh? Right then. Just going to fix that down now. A couple of concrete fixings that I may or may not have on me, but I can get them tomorrow. That's no issue. That job is done. I don't think that will go down much, you know. That brickwork's pretty good in terms of flat. The timber is perfectly flat. Look at that! Oh my word! Crikey! Right, we're leaving it. In fact, the only thing there, look, that's just a rock of the timber. Hands in the way the laser, the rest of it, look. So we'll just fix it to the back. That's going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Brilliant! Right then. What else is there to do? I'll have a think. Well, seeing that laser level there being as perfect as it can possibly be, and it also being pure luck, reminded me that that's the second bit of great luck I've had this week, because luck is what the universe has brought back to me. My phone, the one that I lost, and all that footage that was lost. I might put it at the end of the video just for the sake of it. I might not, just a bit of time lapse and messing around. It's not really that important anymore, I suppose. That time has been and gone, but all my cards are in it. What I've done basically is put all my eggs in one basket and lost the basket. All my driving licence, phone, obviously my phone, bank cards, it was all in there, and it all went. But where was it found? It was found in my mother-in-law's next door neighbour's back garden next to the trampoline. Now that poses more questions than answers. And all the questions that you've got, the answer to all of them is, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I went back there that night, I went out and then we slept there because I didn't want to come back here in the state that this was, in the, in the state that I was in. Woke up, phone had gone. 9 days later, the man of the house, he's doing the gardening, he finds the phone, he opens it up, my ID's in there, my driving licence, big picture of me. His wife, by pure chance, goes, I know him. I'm sure he's married to the girl of the people next door. And boom, there it was. Now, another question that obviously answers is, what would you do if you're a bloke, you find a phone in the back garden, you open it up, the ID's in there, and your wife recognises him right next to a fence where he could hot tail it over? Well, let's not go into that. I can assure you, I don't know what's gone on. But all I do know is my phone's back, it works, 9 days outside, all the weather, works fine. The cards, none of them touched, nothing. So a big thank you to the people who found it and brought it back. Don't know, just don't know. Just let it go. I'll just do what I've done and just let it go. And we'll put that one to the universe. There. Don't drink, kids. I suppose the last thing I could do now is get all this outside. I was hoping to sell these bricks because they are obviously beautiful. But because they've been painted grey, you don't want them. So, oh, that reminds me, I've got something to show you. Well, you may remember, if you're a regular viewer, how last week I showed you this fireplace for the first time, and I said that the lintel that we got out of the bedroom window that used to be there, my son's bedroom, was going to go on the top of this fireplace here, and that the sills that were from around the bay that was there, the bay window, were going to be used as the hearth. And I said they're too far gone really, years and years of paint. I'm going to have to just clean up best I can, give them a good scrape, and then paint them another colour, whatever colour we choose, whatever it may be. But check this out. If you remember, the makeup of the window, there's the window very roughly, and then there was stone sill underneath it, and then up to lintel height there was 2 stones, then the big lintel, and then 2 smaller ones above. Well, my dad, all painted black, well, my dad took one of these stones back home as a bit of an experiment. Identical to this one. The one he took was on the left, this one was on the right. And as you can see, years and years, painted black. I resigned myself to the fact of having to scrape it and paint it. Well, he took it home, put a couple of coats of paint remover on it, and look at that, back to its former glory. Ignore that, I caught it with a saw. So there we go, from that, just a couple of coats of not necessarily expensive paint remover, paint stripper. I think he said it was from Wickes, Wickes' own brand, I think. A couple of coats, bit of a scrape, and there we go, back to its former glory. Isn't that something? Beautiful. That's how it would have looked when it was first installed, all by the weather damage, but that's all part of the charm, isn't it? So now I can get that lintel down. Well, Dad's going to do it actually. He's going to have a bit of a project for him, and he's going to take all the paint off, so get it back to its former glory, just like this, as well as the sill stones that we're going to use for the half round there, and then that then is going to go on top of the fireplace and around the fireplace as it was intended to be all those years ago. It's beautiful. Look at that. It's excellent, isn't it? From that to that, just a bit of patience and a bit of a scrape. Beautiful. Happy. And you know what? On those 2 real happy notes, well, 3 actually, if you take the later level as one, well, I'm going to take it. So yeah, 3 happy notes. We'll leave it there for this episode, I think. All the little jobs are done in order for the joists to be fitted. There's a couple of little things I can do. I can take all the bricks at the top of the stairs down and get them outside. As I say, the full I don't want them. So I can use them as edges, I think, around the garden when it comes to it. I'm not going to throw them away. I'm definitely going to use them, but I don't think there's a place for them in the house. So they'll be used in the garden, I think. I'll get all them down, do that bit of packing of slate up there, which I haven't done yet, but there's no need to film that, I think. I think the next episode you want to see is actually the floor going in. Just take it back from a very small makeshift church to something resembling an actual house. So that's it for this episode then. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it's a bit of a short one, but that's just the way it is. That's been my week, so I just thought I'll document it and put it on here. What I'll do now, a little bonus footage for you. I will put the lost footage, the time lapse, with no real context anymore, really. But I'll put that at the end now, and then that'll be it. So thanks for watching, and you can see us next time. See ya.